How do we take a nursery stock pine from Lowe's and turn it into a bonsai tree? Let's find out. All right, so here we are in the Lowe's parking lot with these Austrian black pines that sell for $167, which may or may not be worth it, depending on your own personal opinion. It has small needles and it has a thick trunk, so I figured, you know what, maybe there's some potential in this tree. Now, there are a number of flaws with it, so you can see the trunk is thick, but then all the branches come off in one cluster, and then there's an empty section of trunk and another cluster of branches. So I was uncertain, like, that's going to be kind of hard to work around. Maybe we can wire some of these down to, foliage pads and maybe kind of cover that up or work around it. I don't know, but I decided if nothing else, it'll be an entertaining video. So I decided to buy it, pack it up into my car. I was alone, so that was kind of a challenge. It was very heavy. It's like a 4-foot tall tree, and the pot was well watered, so it was really heavy, but we managed to do it without breaking really any branches. I just, knocked a few of the candles off, but that's fine. So the first thing I did was when I got home is I unpotted it because it's a field-grown tree. It was still wrapped in a burlap bag, so I wanted to get all that burlap off the root ball so it could grow and establish itself into the nursery container better. So I took that off, I put it back in the pot, I put some organic fertilizer with mycorrhizal fungal cultures in it to help kind of, help out the tree. And then I chopped off the apex. Now, if we left the apex, that may have helped kind of grow the trunk even thicker and work out some of the flaws, but I wanted to get the apex off because I feel like that helped me kind of decide how the final shape of this tree should look. So if anything, we can grow a new sacrifice branch later on down the line. And then what I did was I put red string around the branches I wanted to keep. Now, you'll notice this video is kind of short because there were so many branches and it was a little bit overwhelming, and I just, didn't know what I was going to end up with because this material is kind of iffy, and this was actually the first time I've ever, attempted to style a tree on my own. I didn't know what this was going to end up like. So I have some footage and I'm narrating over some of this stuff, but, we ended up with what we ended up, which you'll see later on. What I ended up doing was thinning out the tree. I wired those bottom branches to be drooping down a little bit. Then I thinned out the top half. I took the middle branches and kind of just moved them forwards or backwards. I didn't really bend them down too much. They're kind of still horizontal, and the apex is kind of growing how it was. I just trimmed it back into place. And there we go. There is the hack job disaster of a pre-bonsai tree with all of its flaws. Now, the wire, I bought the thickest wire, but even when I doubled it up, it still wasn't good enough to bend some of those very thick branches. So the wiring is kind of a disaster. I added zip ties, so it's really kind of trashy, but I figured the basic framework is there. I know this guy that hopefully can help me out and teach me how to refine this tree, and we'll see how it goes through the years. If nothing else, it's kind of just a practice tree. So that's what I ended up with. Of course, not a tutorial. This is more of just a vlog, a personal kind of vlog of what I've done with it. So hopefully you enjoyed that. If for nothing else, just the entertainment experience. But there is our Austrian black pine that hopefully I can refine in the coming years, and it may look better over the next decade or maybe 20 years.